Hey guys, it's Amelia, but you can call me Milo, and today I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel and welcome you to the wet tropics of far north Queensland, which is where today's episode is taking place. This is an AUSBIO episode where I bring in a special furry, feathered or scaly friend and tell you a little bit about who they are. But today's episode has a little bit of a twist. As I said, we're in far north Queensland, and instead of showing you one of the most amazing animals that I could possibly show you, because there are some really fascinating species here, I'm going to show you one that you probably don't want to see. So yeah, today I'm going to be introducing you to one of Australia's most infamous tourists, the cane toad. This is the toad that every single Australian you will ever meet absolutely despises. This tiny little thing here. So here we have a cane toad, Rhinella marina. Cane toads are endemic to South and Central America, where they can be found in a variety of open terrestrial habitats. So how come I was able to catch one here in Australia on the other side of the world? Well, the first cane toad was brought overseas from Hawaii to the Australian continent back in 1935 in order to control the population of sugarcane beetles that were wreaking havoc on the country's sugarcane industry at the time. The first toad, along with 101 of his friends, were brought to a breeding facility and kept in captivity until roughly 62,000 were bred and eventually released in the Cairns, Innisfail and Gordonvale areas. Unfortunately, the rate at which these animals reproduce and the effect they would have on the surrounding ecosystems was not taken into account at the time. It didn't take us long, however, to realise that we had made a grave mistake. Today we have gone from 101 cane toads to well over 200 million, and they have expanded their range from their originally relatively small localities to a vast portion of the continent. The severity of this situation is shown really well in this map. The dark green line shows the distribution of cane toads as of 2008. The rest of the map highlighted in green shows the estimated distribution in years to come. So you may be wondering, why do we hate these guys so much? What's wrong with them? Well, first of all, this is a baby. This is what I could catch. I'm going to go out and look for something a little bit bigger to show you, but all I could find at the moment was a juvenile and very little. So he was probably born this year, possibly last year, but I'm going to venture and say he was born this year. And they actually get a lot bigger than this. They can get... Ah! I nearly lost him. So you can see I'm trying to be very gentle when I hold him, because I don't want to stress him out too much, and I definitely don't want to put too much pressure up in this area at the front, because that is where he has his paratoid glands. The paratoid glands are found at the base of the neck and are capable of excreting a milky white buffer toxin when under extreme stress or pressure. This buffer toxin is highly concentrated and toxic, able to kill most native Australian animals within half an hour. Symptoms of ingestion include accelerated heartbeat, fatigue or weakness, and an inability to breathe. If ingested or rubbed in the eyes, it can be extremely painful and make most people very, very sick. So to Australian animals, frogs are usually a very tasty treat. We don't have any poisonous frogs here. Amphibians are a staple part of many native Australian animals' diet. And so when they see a big juicy toad, they think, yum, a frog, and they will eat it. But then, when these guys are eaten, when they are shaken around or squeezed too much, they will excrete a milky white toxin out of these paratoid glands. And this toxin can kill pretty much anything. And while they can't really kill a human, they can definitely make you super, super sick. Cane toads are prolific breeders. They breed around about now in the year in the wet season, where it's very humid and damp and rainy, and one female cane toad will produce 2 clutches, so they will breed twice in a year, of up to 35,000 eggs. And you can imagine that that adds up. So if you live in Australia or where these guys are found naturally in the wild, you may be wondering how you can tell whether it's a cane toad or a frog. How do I know that this is a cane toad and not a beautiful native Australian frog? Well, it's pretty easy. In Australia, we don't actually have toads naturally. we only have frogs. And so basically, if you know how to tell the difference between a frog and a toad, you're pretty much set. So how I can tell that this is a cane toad is that he's got very dry, warty skin, and he doesn't have webbing on his toes, and he has those big paratoid glands behind his ears. So they're poisonous, prolific breeders, they destroy the ecosystem. What can we do about it? There's only one thing you can do about it, and unfortunately that is culling. So as well as government-run culling programs, there are also private culling programs that you yourself can partake in if you are in this part of Australia and you do find some cane toads in your yard. And I'm an animal lover. I love every single animal. I love this frog, and it's not his frog. I love this toad, and it's not his fault that he was born here, you know? It's not his fault that he is here in Australia and ruining the ecosystem. He's just doing what he instinctually knows how to do. But unfortunately, that's just not okay, and we can't let that happen. So if you want to help out and you want to keep these numbers under control, you can help. You can go out and collect them. They're really easy to catch. I caught this guy in like 2 seconds. They're slow. They only jump like short little hops. They're really easy to catch. I would wear gloves. I'm not wearing gloves right now because I just don't have any on hand. So I would wear gloves because, as I said, they do have a really potent toxin that if you get in your mouth or your eyes can really irritate and can cause quite bad illness. So I'm not touching anything other than him at the moment, and as soon as I've finished this video, I'm gonna wash my hands super well. I'm actually gonna take like a full body shower. So yeah, if you catch them, you can catch them as many as you can, and there's three ways that you can then euthanize them. The first one, the most common one, is stepped hypothermia, which is the best way to do it yourself. So basically what you do is you get them, put them in a container or a bag or something, and you put them in the fridge for 12 hours. And because these animals are ectothermic, their bodily functions are controlled by the outside temperature. So if they're put in a fridge, all of their bodily functions will slow right down. Their metabolism goes down, their heart rate goes down, and they basically go to sleep. And then from there, you put them in the freezer for a further 24 hours, and that freezing will kill them. Except because you've put them in the fridge beforehand and all of their bodily functions have slowed down, it's quite a peaceful way for them to pass away, and it is the most humane way to euthanize them by yourself. Another product you can buy is this. This is a store-bought product you can get from Bunnings and most vets and sort of animal areas, like pet stores and stuff. You can also get it online really easily, and in most gardening supply shops I've found they're there as well. And this is basically a spray. You just spray it on them and they're dead. I've also heard of some vets that you can take them to and they will do it for you. I've just lost the toad. I'm gonna go out tonight and see if I can find a bigger specimen for me to just show you the glands and things a little bit better, show you what they look like when they're a bit bigger. He's over there. I'm gonna go try and catch this frog now and yeah, see what I can do with him instead of letting him out and to go kill some dogs. So yeah, I will be back later tonight with a bigger toad to show you. So as you can see, when I went out later that night, I did find some more. These guys were significantly larger than the one I was holding in the video, but they're definitely not the biggest cane toads that I've ever seen. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a comment and a like, and feel free to subscribe as well if you want to see some more cool animal content in the future. Anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you guys have a really good weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.